This year I completed Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time, and it was one of my favorite gaming experiences I have ever had. It was really moving experience and had some of the best writing in any game that I've ever played. And you guys know me, the story is the thing that I pay the most attention to when it comes to video games. You know, the story, the characters, the world. It's the most important aspect to me, and it's crucial to my immersion in a game. And if the actual game is also really good, then that's a great bonus as well. And Red Dead Redemption 2 ticks all of those boxes, and it's actually really great timing as well because the game is 5 years old this year. So I wanted to do a video on it. However, because it is a more recent experience for me, and also this is a game that I don't think I could do justice in one of these kind of videos. Maybe one day I might circle back around to it, but for now I have decided to do something a little bit different with this video. You see, the single player campaign wasn't my first experience in this world. I had actually already been playing Red Dead Online on and off for the last couple of years since they released it as a standalone release. I think I got it for like $3 or $5 or something like that, and it has become over time one of my favorite games to just kind of jump in and play. And I think that connection has only really strengthened now that I have also played the single player as well. So I thought for this video, why not jump back into the online here at the end of 2023 and see what the experience has to offer. While I do love the game personally, it does have some issues and it doesn't have the same general appeal that GTA Online has. Of course, we all know Rockstar ended support for RDO back in July of 2022. There are still a few small updates here and there, like to game modes, like seasonal events and variations on existing modes and maps, things like that. But for the most part, this is the final version of the game. So let's take a look at it to see if it still holds up in 2023. And of course, before we go any further, if you do enjoy this kind of content, then consider subscribing. It would be appreciated. We're a new channel here and we're just trying to get off the ground. We've already got a handful of videos similar to this one for you to check out if you're interested. And there's plenty more coming next year. So here we are at the camp, and the camp is essentially the base of operations for Red Dead Online. It is the place where you can kind of come and chill out with your friends if you're playing with friends, and it's also the home to the trader role, which I'll talk more about roles in a little bit. You can also craft and cook by the campfire. You can access your wardrobe. You can actually also like upgrade the camp. The campsite you see here is the stock standard campsite, I'm pretty sure. Apart from maybe the tent there, I'm not sure on that. I think the tent's something that I bought, but you can kind of upgrade the campsite, and the more you upgrade the campsite, kind of quicker the cores will recharge when you're just chilling here. I personally haven't, as I personally have not really found much need to, at least in my time playing the game and at least in this point in time, but it is something you can do. And you can kind of move the campsite around the place as well, so you can have the campsite kind of in any of the states. You can also change your outfits here, so you actually have a wardrobe over here which you can access. I have a couple of saved outfits. I got this one, which is just kind of like my standard cowgirl outfit. I've got the bounty hunter outfit, just because I have a really nice jacket, and then I've got what I call my slutty outfit. But yeah, you have different outfits, and yeah, you can equip them on your horse, so you can kind of change your outfit at any point. The other thing you might notice is up the top, on the top part of the screen there, you'll see these little icons, these little cards. If you go to abilities, you unlock each of these slots kind of as you progress, and you can have these little cards, 3 passive abilities and then 1 Deadeye ability, and they each just give you some kind of perk or bonus. You can unlock new cards and change them around. You can kind of like kit yourself out with certain loadouts, and of course that kind of has gameplay effects. But the kind of base on which Red Dead Online is built is on the roles. The roles are kind of like the main gameplay loop, and each role kind of has its own progression ladder. So if we go to the progress bar here, we have 5 roles. So we have Bounty Hunter, Naturalist, Moonshiner, Trader, and Collector. As you can see, I have maxed out the Collector role. That's basically one where you go around the map and you find like treasure and stuff. I'm working on the Trader role, and I'm working on the Bounty Hunter role. I've done a little bit of moonshining, but I haven't done a hell of a lot of moonshining. But the really cool thing about the Moonshiner role is it actually also, it's the only one of these roles to also include like a little story campaign with some story missions for you you to play through. So yeah, each of them have like kind of their own gameplay loop and their own progression. Like if we open up the Bounty Hunter one, you can see I'm on level 9, currently working my way to level 10. So we're up near Strawberry. So if we head back over to Strawberry, we can go to the bounty boards. And yeah, let's head over and we'll do a bounty mission. We can walk up to basically any bounty board anywhere in the game, and there'll be some bounties for us to do. And there's also these, which are legendary bounties. Now these are actual proper like missions, so they're not like randomly the standard bounties are like randomly generated kind of bounties. So like a bounty will appear in the world, you have to go get them. These are actual missions with like cutscenes and multi-stages. I've only done the first one here, but you can kind of replay them on a harder difficulty. But let's just, for the sake of this video, let's select a bounty to do. So we've got Caesar Washington, he's wanted for horse robbery, or we can do Betsy Walker, who's wanted for murder. Yeah, let's go get Betsy, wanted for murder. There's a few different types of bounty hunter missions. The majority of them will be you'll go to a location and it'll be like a campsite or something, and there'll be a bunch of guys there that you need to take out. And then once you take out all the guys, you can then grab your bounty and ride back. Usually you have some guys pursue you as well. But then there's other types of bounty missions where you actually have to investigate the area. You go to their like last known location and you find clues, and you've got to kind of follow the trail of clues that lead you to where the bounty is. Oh wow, they're at the very top end of Blackwater. This looks like the camp here by the looks of it. Oh, okay, this is one of these investigation ones. So this is where they were last seen. So let's have a look. We've got to find, oh, here we go. We've got a heap of clues over here. So let's examine the clues. And yeah, so once you find a clue, you'll get a trail, just like you do when you're hunting animals, and you just kind of follow the trail. It's a lot of running around following clues that lead absolutely fucking nowhere. And then you've got to go back and examine another clue, and like the game makes you follow these things. It's fucking annoying. It's actually really annoying, if I'm being honest. This clue has just led me straight to her. She's actually napping over here. I don't know why she's over here and not at the camp, but she's just kind of like napping. So I'm just gonna grab my lasso out, and we'll just tie her up. Let's wake her up. Rise and shine. And we'll also just give her a kick as well, just to show her who's boss. Oh my god, look at that sunrise that's starting to happen. Looks nice. Oops, I just dropped her. Sorry about that. She's just rolling down the hill. Oh my god, pick her up. Alright, and thankfully we're right here in Blackwater, so we can just go drop her off over at the sheriff's office. Now, you might think doing bounty hunting is gonna make you a lot of money, but it really doesn't. And that's something that I did for ages. I spent ages doing bounties, and I didn't even realize I could be making more money doing other roles. And I discovered that I can earn a lot of money by just grinding the collector role. You have to go around the map, and you have to just find all these collectibles, and you basically collect them in a set, and then you go sell them to an NPC named Madame Nazar. You actually make a lot of money doing that role, and you level that role up pretty quickly if you consistently do it. And luckily there is a great resource online called the RDO map, which it pretty much shows you everything you need to see when it comes to Red Dead Online. Oh, that was a shot. See that? Woo! Straight through the neck. Like the collector role, you can go to the collectible map, then you can filter it based on the collectibles, and that map will actually show you where each of the collectibles are. So by just using that map, you can kind of go through and get full sets, and it is a bit of grinding. It's not the most interesting thing to do in the game, but it does make you a lot of money if you do grind it. There is a similar role as well, the naturalist. The naturalist role involves you going around and you have to sedate animals using sedative rounds, so you can then get a sample of them, and then you can take those samples back to what's a name that I've forgotten, and you can trade them in. So the naturalist and collector roles are very similar. It's the very same kind of gameplay loop. Collect samples or collect the treasures, take them back and sell them. And the naturalist role is actually also very similar to the trader role. That's the thing you do at your camp, and you basically go around and hunt animals, and then you can take their carcasses to Kripke, sell them, and then you can get the supplies, and then he can make the goods, and you can kind of just go sell the goods. So that's very similar. But yeah, you'll find a lot of the roles are very similar. But the good thing about those roles is if you just want to log in and do a very chill kind of online session like I do, you know, you can log in. I usually might just pick run role to focus on, and I might do that for a bit, and if I want to play more, I'll pick something else to do. Oh, look at this. There's a fucking storm coming here. The issue I have with roles personally is roles are not very accessible when you first start playing the game. All the roles require you to kind of get started by using gold to purchase some kind of license, or, you know, for the naturalist you need to buy a kit, sample kit. You know, they all require you to spend some gold, which basically when you're a new player requires you to essentially purchase gold bars with microtransactions to actually be able to do them. And for me, I think this is very limiting to, especially for a new player who just wants to play Red Dead Online and doesn't really want to spend money on it. The big part of how you progress your character, and a big part of the game's kind of gameplay loop, and a big part of the Red Dead Online experience is kind of locked off to you unless you fork up that money. But the roles are so integrated into the online system. Most of your progression is tied to the roles. A lot of the unlocks in the game, whether it be outfits or weapons or like things for your horse or whatever they may be, are also tied to progression within roles. So the roles are a core part of the Red Dead Online experience, and they're kind of paywalled when you first get into it. And unless you kind of fork up the cash, it's going to be a long time before you're going to be able to do them. And like I said, some roles make you more money than others. So in the case of the Bounty Hunter, that was the first role that I did, and I bought into that, and you know, I spent ages playing that, and then I realized that I'm not making a lot of money and it wasn't really worth that investment in gold. So they're very expensive. It costs you, most of the roles are about 25 gold bars, and I think the first two original roles were like 15. And like, that's a lot of money because you don't earn gold bars, you earn gold nuggets, and it takes a lot. So I think that's the only downside. But once you kind of do invest into the roles and invest the time, you end up with that progression tree, you end up with unlocks, and you end up with a really decent gameplay loop. There is one more role I do want to show you guys in this video, and that is the Moonshiner role. With moonshining, you can buy your Moonshine Shack, which is what I have here. Basically, the moonshining role is the closest thing to like the GTA businesses. Like, you actually buy a physical location. I paid money for this. And you can also get add-ons to this as well, but it's really cool. I could actually drink my own moonshine. Now, the way the moonshine production works is it is exactly the same as the trader role. You basically produce a batch of moonshine. Now, I'm still very low level on moonshining because I haven't done a lot of it, so I can only make weak moonshine. But you can basically, there's 3 tiers of moonshine you can make, and they each have their own levels of like different payouts. You can also flavor them, so you can collect herbs or like ingredients, which you can also add in with the moonshine to make flavors. And making flavored moonshine actually opens up a lot more buyers for you to sell the moonshine to. And then once it's done, you'll have a carton of 20 bottles. I do believe you can upgrade that, so I do believe you can do more. This is one I prepared earlier, so we're just going to sell this. But there's always that one buyer who'll accept everything. Now, because this is the only option I have, we're just going to sell it, and we'll do a sell mission. And there we go. Now we got our little cart. Now, you actually have to be careful delivering this because you can damage the moonshine, which means you will get less profit if you're reckless. And yeah, so the max profit we can get is $75, but there's that little circle icon you see at the top of the screen. That's the health. See the red on the map? It looks like there's an ambush up ahead here. I can probably take these guys out. Oh, shit. They were right next to me. Ooh, that could have been bad. I think we handled that pretty well. You have lost some of your moonshine batch. Drive safely. See, so I'm not going to make as much money now, but that's okay. The one thing about this is other players can actually attack you while you're doing these deliveries. In my experience playing this game, it has never happened. I have never had anyone come after me while doing a delivery for both the Moonshiner or Trader role, but it is something that can happen. There is that little bit of PvP element if you want there to be. Alright, so I had to start the mission again because I was like riding along trying to shoot guys, and then I started moving and I wasn't paying any attention, and I ended up getting stuck on a rock. So I've had to start the mission again. So let's see how this goes, shall we? I suppose this is also a good time to talk about, like, even though, like, this role is very much just deliver the goods, obviously there is the story missions that are involved in this, plus the standard bootlegger missions, which essentially just involve you sabotaging other people's moonshine businesses or whatever. But yeah, the great thing about these roles is this just gives you a variety of different gameplay options. You know, you can go and hunt and do the trader role until you get kind of bored of it, and then you could switch over, maybe do a bit of bounty hunting, and then you can jump over this and do a moonshine run or get the ingredients to gather more moonshine. One thing Red Dead Online really excels at is giving you variety of gameplay. Like, yeah, sure, it might not have, you know, the same amount of content as, say, GTA Online does, but it still has enough variety in what it does have to keep you playing and to give you something to do. And plus the daily challenges give you those extra objectives to work towards. Did you look at that? Holy fuck, that horse is freaking out. Oh, that other guy's not dead. Hold on. There we go. Now he's dead. That was fucking funny. And there we are, we've completed it. And as you can see, we damaged a few of the bottles, so we only delivered 18 out of the 20. So instead of getting the $75 profit, we only got the $58 there. So that's kind of the basics on the roles. And then outside of that, you can also do a bunch of like missions and things in free roam. Throughout the map, there are strangers who are everywhere. And in the description, it'll actually tell you what kind of jobs they offer. So like in this one, we got some hunting and escort jobs, but down here, we can go down here to Anthony Foreman, and he's got some like coach holdups, assassinations. Over in Saint Denis, near this bar here, in the back part of the bar, there's actually a guy that you can do missions for the cartel, and they're a lot more involved missions. They involve taking out a lot of different targets. As well as that, you also have telegram missions, which you can do. Some of them are harder missions designed for a posse of people. The call to arms here, for example, are missions where you have to defend a particular town or location. You can do these solo, or you can do these in a posse. And I'm not going to show them in the video just because this video has gone on way too long already, but you also have your series playlists as well, which is a bunch of PvP game modes. You've got horse racing, you've got like objective-based game modes, you've got just team deathmatch kind of game modes. So if you're someone who's really into PvP, you've also accommodated by your PvP game modes. They actually have seasonal game modes here as well in the playlist that you can do. Like, I think there's one for Halloween. Yeah, if you're into PvP, then you've got these modes here. I'm not going to do them. I'm not really into PvP. You might also notice my horse is fucking dead. And that's because a hacker just bloody ruined one of my attempts to record that map bit. So I'm now currently using Scrawny Nag, which is basically the backup horse you get. Alright, so I've actually decided to ride over kind of this way because there's actually a stranger over here that I haven't interacted with yet. But yeah, we should get a little cutscene here because I've never interacted with this one before. So let's see what's going on. It's always amazed me how in both this and GTA Online, they really go out of their way to have the character you'll interact with say all the dialogue because your character doesn't talk. I'm not gonna lie, my character looks fucking amazing. So this is a ambush mission by the looks of it. We have to ambush the stagecoach. Alright, luckily this stagecoach is pretty close. They're kind of down towards where Gus is. Unfortunately, they're gonna see me coming a mile away because the fucking landed on my horse. I can actually do this stealthily if I'm... Alright, well, my plan for stealth didn't quite work out. Oh.
Okay, just take it.
Is there anything else I can get from this stagecoach, or is it just the loot bag? Oh, hang on. There's something I can smash here. A lockbox. What we got in here? I'll go to first person so I can see a bit easier. We'll take the canned vegetable. I guess we don't need pistol cartridges or anything else. No? Alright. Let's get out of here before more lore show up. Because this is a free roam mission, if another player is around and they feel so inclined, they can actually take the bag from me and deliver it themselves. So again, like with the roles, it doesn't really happen. So occasionally you might find someone who might want to challenge you a little bit, but most of the time people are kind of just doing their own thing. Let me drop off the bag, and there we go. We've done one of these little free roam missions. So there's a lot of those kind of missions. So between the roles and between the free roam missions and telegram missions, there is a lot to do in Red Dead Online to keep you entertained. And the great thing is a lot of it has its own progression. So there's always something you're progressing, and there's like other things you can do in free roam as well. You can go fishing, you can hunt and then cook the meat that you hunt, which is actually really beneficial for when you're in gunfights. Like with a single player game, the canned food is good for little boosts of health and stamina, but really what you want is cooked meat, because that'll fill your cores up a lot. So that's definitely worth it. Yeah, it just reminds you of like all the cool potential that Red Dead Online could have had, because one thing you don't have in this game is like heists or bank robberies, things like that, and I think that could have been a cool addition. It's just something they never added, and it's a real shame they didn't add that. And I can just never look at this, man. Look at how good this game is. Look at the way the sun shines on her hair. Ah, oh, looks so good. We've got a free roam event, so Day of Reckoning will begin shortly. So do I have to go anywhere on the map, or can I travel directly there? All right, so we got to capture targets and deliver them alive. And we got another player here. As a heads up, I have never done a free roam event before, so I have absolutely no idea what to expect from this event. I've just realized I don't have any of my rifles, so I'm kind of fucked. Oh, well, I guess we're just gonna go with it, I guess. Oh, okay, right. So we got to capture the outlaws and then kind of bring them to the police station or to the drop-off points. All right, so I'm just giving myself some points. Nice. Oh, fuck, they've got a machete. Oh, punch him, punch him. Get him, get him. Got him. Oh, I got a knockout. All right, let's pick this boy up. There's a lot of targets up here. I suppose there might be a slight element of like PvP to this, maybe, like you can kind of stop other people, but it seems like no one's really doing it. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm just kind of rolling with it, you know? Alright, get ready, because they might have a fucking machete, man. Wait. Oh, fuck! Yeah, there we go. Hog time up. They keep trying to get me with machetes. Oh, I don't want to pick up the hat. Okay, I guess I'm wearing the hat now. I guess this is what we're doing. This is fun. Okay, I'm so used to my character wearing this other hat that this looks ridiculous to me. Oh, fuck, I'm dead. Fucking just shot me with a flame arrow, my god. Okay, it seems like they get more aggressive. Oh my god, move! It seems like they get more aggressive over the time, and I don't know if that's like NPCs kind of defending their friends or whatnot. I don't even actually know if I'll make this one in 20 seconds or not, because I'm running quite slow. Nice. Oh, cool. I got XP for Bounty Hunter. Oh, I came fourth. Nice. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Coming fourth for a first go, that wasn't too bad. So just as a way to kind of wrap up the video, I wanted to take some time to talk about why I personally love Red Dead Online and the potential that it has. For me, I've never really been a big fan of the Western genre, probably because I grew up during a time where Westerns didn't really exist. And, you know, outside of Red Dead Redemption, it wasn't really something I was ever exposed to. But there is just something about the Western fantasy in Red Dead Redemption 2 and online that just hits different. Taking the really well-designed open world from the campaign and making it a sandbox playground for your own character is a really cool idea. Getting to experience that time period in the world in a very immersive way. I've always said since I first started playing Red Dead Online that it's the most immersive world of any game that I've ever played. And while you do lose a little bit of the interactivity that the single player has, the world is still so detailed and so breathtaking to look at that you can't help but get sucked in. For me, Red Dead Online is a very similar experience to Sea of Thieves, an open world sandbox with activities for you and your friends to complete and to go on adventures. They are what I might call my chill games, you know, like I love logging into RDO, whether it's on my PC or on the Steam Deck, back and playing for half an hour or an hour, and it's just relaxing to me, especially after the end of a workday, you know, like as much as story and character are important to me when I'm playing a single player game, sometimes I just want to log into a game and play something mindless but still immersive and engaging, and RDO provides that. You know, log in, do a bounty or two, go hunting, do a moonshine run, public events, whatever it may be, it just never fails to not engage, and that is why it is one of my favorite games to just jump in and play. And a lot of people talk shit about Red Dead Online, saying that the game has no content, but that just isn't true. Online does have a lot to offer. Sure, it might not be as in-depth as some other games, but the few content updates that it did get over the years have added a lot to the game. It's just a bit more of a slow burn without that instant gratification that you get in other online games. And sure, there is some issues with how some of the content is gated by monetization, and I completely understand why that stuff is a turnoff for people, but saying it has no content is just not a valid criticism, but unfortunately that is the perception that the game has. And it's a shame, but it just goes to show that first impressions matter and do shape the perception of the entire game. And also, if you're playing on PC, you do unfortunately have to deal with the odd hacker here and there. Personally, I haven't encountered hackers that much, but as you saw in the video earlier, it does happen from time to time. In fact, I think Rockstar's approach to RDO was completely wrong from day one. RDO is a game that has so much potential, and it's a game that wouldn't have had any real competitors since there aren't really any other mainstream games that provide that Western fantasy, and this is something that Rockstar should have tapped into. Instead, they decided to model the game after GTA Online and its modernization, and I just don't think it's a format that translated to the Western genre, and that's why I think it failed. That is something that Rockstar should have embraced, because there are a lot of people out there who would want a proper multiplayer Western MMO style game that they could play with their friends. There's more than you think, and Red Dead Online had the potential to be that game. The open world of RDO is designed around the PvP nature of GTA Online, and while some people do engage with that, in my experience, most people seem to keep to themselves and are just going about doing their own thing. So instead, Rockstar should have focused on building a world that caters for that. And here's the thing about this, there are systems in the game already in place that could make this idea work. You could take all of the roles that already exist in the game and expand them and make them kind of similar to classes in a way. You know, offering players various ways to play the game, not just simple activities for XP. And sure, that might be outside of Rockstar's experience, but that hasn't stopped other studios from doing similar things before and succeeding. I mean, to be fair, the experience I am describing here is more of a blend of what you see a lot of in Red Dead roleplay servers, mixed with kind of the more casual gameplay style of Red Dead Online as it exists now. I think the roleplay community have picked up kind of where Rockstar left off and shown that there is a lot more possible with the gameplay and the engine. A lot of roleplay servers have, you know, robbing banks, they have farming, they have being able to trade with other players. You know, you can have factions where you can be an outlaw, you can be a law officer. The roleplay community have really proven that there is so much potential here just from a gameplay perspective, and that's just ignoring the roleplay part. But the issue is Rockstar wanted to recreate the success of GTA Online without doing the work, and GTA Online makes Rockstar and Take-Two a fuck ton of money. But what people forget is how Red Dead Online is now, is how GTA Online was like for a few years. Like, it took time. GTA Online was not great at first, and it took a couple of years to become good. But because there is no instant gratification and it's slower paced, people just weren't interested, and therefore Rockstar and Take-Two couldn't have their little cash shop. Red Dead Online is just another example of how the modern gaming industry is just built on greed, which the irony here is I do genuinely believe that if they had tried something different with Red Dead Online, it would have been more successful, because I do genuinely believe there is an audience for that type of game, and I think Sea of Thieves proves this, as the pirate genre is very similar to the Western genre in the sense that there isn't really a lot of options out there in the mainstream AAA gaming landscape. But saying all that doesn't mean that what we have is bad or isn't worth playing. Red Dead Online is a fun game, and there is a lot to do if you are prepared to engage with it. I think we just need to stop comparing it to GTA Online and just accept it for what it is, and then feel sad about what it could have been. But unfortunately, like many before it, Red Dead Online has just joined the live service graveyard. I would say for now, in its final form, it's probably a good time to jump in, especially with friends or even solo, which is kind of how I play it these days. So if you haven't tried RDO before, or if your only perception of the game is how it was back in 2019 and at launch with the beta in 2018, then I would suggest give it another shot now in 2023, because you might find there is something here for you. Thanks everyone for making it to the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy it. This video took a little bit longer to make than the other ones I have made so far, so if you did get something out of it, then I really appreciate you. This is going to be the final video of the year. I wanted to also make a video on Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness for the 20th anniversary, but unfortunately life just got in the way, but I still want to revisit that in the future. I just wanted to end this video saying thanks to everyone who has watched any of my videos so far this year. Whether it's just been this one, or you've seen a couple, or you've seen them all, I really do appreciate that you've taken the time out of your day to check them out. I started this channel a few months ago, but it has been a really fun time, and I want to keep doing what we're doing here next year. This isn't my first attempt at content creation, but it's probably the most fun I've had doing it, so I'm looking forward to improving and refining the process of making these videos next year. But for now, thanks for everyone for watching. It means the world to me. Have a good holiday season, and I'll see you all next year. Bye for now.